It's been like 10 minutes. He's fucking late. I don't know what to do. This kid is irresponsible as fuck. I wonder where the fuck he's at right now.
I'm here. Top G. Let's get it done. I know I've been expected here, and your request has been approved. Let me put this on. So,
Are you ready? I've been fucking waiting here for like 30 minutes.
look, man, Miami's not the nicest. You know, there's people in traffic. There's people doing.
Why do you have
things.
those sunglasses on?
I gotta hide my identity, but you know, I could take it off for this episode. You know.
Where'd you get that TikTok shop?
I did actually.
What's up, guys? You're watching Unfiltered Saint, and we're back at it on YouTube. Haven't posted in a while, for sure, but you know, we're gonna keep going. I'm here with my boy Kevin Diaz. Introduce yourself.
My name is Kevin Diaz. Most people know me by Crew Aesthetics. That's what I'm associated by on the internet. I'm just a content creator, a guy trying to make it out here, and yeah, I'm just living life, taking it day by day.
What do you do for your content?
Yeah, you know, when I get asked that question, I never really know how to answer it, to be honest with you. I used to do videos picking up girls. I kind of stopped doing that. Not my thing. I'm already 23. I think it's like the age where I should kind of like lean off of that. You know, it's not, I don't know. I don't want to be like older and pick up girls, especially in college campuses. But I do like interviews. Spring break just ended. I was doing crazy stuff, lifting up girls. Some Lizzos, I was picking them up good, you know, real good. You know what I'm saying? Just having a good time, making sure people have a good time, and also do videos like this, not in this professional setting, but talk, give life advice.
You're gonna do life advice? Is that what you're saying?
Like I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
life
I do.
advice.
I do.
Oh, okay.
You know,
because all I see, like,
yeah, those are the most popular ones. I'm assuming you're gonna say the girls.
I'd be seeing the Omegle shit, you know.
The Omegle, yeah, too. You know,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that I'd also
that
do.
Gorlock and
the Gorlock the Destroyer.
Yeah,
I found her twin. She got real mad. I love triggering people on there. It's very nice, you know.
So how do you feel about where you're at now?
I think I've come to terms with realizing that in life, you're always going to want more. And I've realized that I'm never going to truly be satisfied or content with what I have or where I'm at. So I just always have to keep pushing for more, but realize that I should be proud from where I have become, you know, as a person to like where I started.
Yeah.
Because people always lose themselves in whatever industry they get into or whatever craft they start. And they're always like, oh, more. And then you just become lost, you know? You get into like a void that you can't find yourself. So I think you have to be proud of the accomplishments you made and just keep going from there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm proud, but I'm not satisfied, is essentially what I was gonna say.
Speaking about being lost, have you ever been lost in your own world, like during like content? Like, have you ever like thought like, damn, I'm stuck, you know?
What, like idea-wise? Like, what do you mean?
No, like just for content, like you just feel like you felt stuck, like you couldn't do any more content, like you've just, you know, you couldn't
like burnt out?
Yeah.
Honestly, not really, dude. Like, I know there's like a thing, people saying like, oh, I'm burnt out. Oh man, I don't have motivation. It's like, that's all like a mentality thing. Like, I never sit there and say, oh man, of course there's gonna be days I don't wanna do it, you know, but you gotta understand the long term, the highway, the long route and the road, like, okay, this is where I picture myself being if I keep on track and doing the things I need to do. Like, I'm always the person, I'm very regimented. I'm always the person, like, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't say I'm gonna do something and then you know, like, I'm not like that. So I guess it's a personality trait too, you know, that you gotta be born with, or you gotta create it in yourself. So not really, to be honest.
So you've never been burned out?
No. Dude, I literally filmed every single day and posted every single day, full form, as well as short form content on YouTube during spring break.
Yeah.
I don't know a single creator who does that edits the videos, films the videos, and thinks of the ideas all within themselves, doing it day by day by day. I wasn't sleeping that much, but I had to break that barrier to see what I'm capable of doing. So then in the long term where I'm like, okay, well I do 3 times a week I post on YouTube, I want to try like 4. Well, I've posted every day for a month, so I mean I could do that, you know? So you have to make these mental challenges and barriers that you gotta break.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time we ever filmed together?
Was it in Nashville?
No, the first time we ever filmed together was like when you brought me down to FAU.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
That's when my car became a piece of garbage.
You had a Chrysler, right? Or
No, it's not a Chrysler. I had a Ford Fusion. That thing got beaten down for sure. That's definitely,
Yeah.
I call it the kidnap car. Where you could kidnap people because the passenger side, the handle was broken off, it was snapped off. The trunk, it's kind of tricky. Like I feel like if you jump somebody in there, they can't get out, even with the safety thing, you know? And then, yeah, like you couldn't get out unless the driver's side like manually like got you out.
So starting the car would be normal, right? Or would you have to like
Hopefully.
get a screwdriver and just like, you know?
Hopefully. Well, you know what's funny? Speaking of screwdrivers, I would have to, towards the end of the life of that car, I would have to actually pop the hood every time I wanted to start the car.
Yeah.
To put in water in the engine coolant so the engine wouldn't burn out. And then that's not even the tricky part because there's already a leakage to begin with. So that's why I have to keep refilling it.
Yeah.
To close the hood, I would have to grab a screwdriver and go in the lock area and kind of like pop it out so it would lock, or else it wouldn't lock. So yeah, I dealt with that until I bought a new car.
What was your first impression of me when you first saw me?
My first impression of you?
Yeah. Like when we first did the first like FAU video together. Like, well, my first FAU. Which, you know, starting with you.
Determined? I mean, like
Determined.
you drove an hour.
Yeah.
You know, you drove an hour to where I was.
Yeah.
Had to pick me up because my car was destroyed. And we went to FAU. We filmed some content. You know, seemed like you were about it. You were like, I thought you were on crack for a second. I was like, this guy's.
I was shy at first. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
You could see that, and I was sweating a lot.
You were?
You couldn't notice that?
I mean, dude, it's Florida, man. The humidity's already insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's why.
Goddamn, like a shower, bro.
Yeah. No,
I remember when I was super nervous when I first like did my first pickup line, and you were always telling me like, "Yo, no, you got this, bro. Like, just go for it. Just fucking go for it.
Just go for it. That's it.
You know?
It's not hard.
Yeah, but I felt weird just going up to them and just be like, "Hey, what's up? Like, where'd you get that?"
Especially you stop them. Hey, excuse me. I know you're going to class, but this is more important. This is way more important.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I mean, I guess it's easy to say when you've done it for a while, but dude, it's really not that like crazy. And I know you probably are starting to think that too because you've already done it a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't do like pickups anymore, like picking up girls' videos as a main, especially for content. But it made me realize like, dude, there's nothing special or like tricky or confusing of like, people think like, oh my God, dude, what if they do this? What if they just walk away? What if they, like, who cares? If they do, then you got your answer.
Yeah.
But it's not something to stress about so much. Like, they put these girls on such a high pedestal, like they're like these creatures that are fucking, you know? It's like, bro.
Talking about girls, you ever had like a long like, you know, relationship in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I had.
Like, what's the
He's
longest?
smiling. You're like, No, okay. The longest was 2 years, but that was in high school.
Yeah. How'd that feel?
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I was engaged. It was all right.
How long was that for?
2 years.
2 years. That was a special.
It was nice while it lasted, but I learned a lot. She gave me my first camera, you know, ever. Told me that, you know, I can be the best I can be, you know, if I just start. You know, she bought me my first camera, and I just started. I remember the first time I ever started doing videography. I started at a company that sells rims, and I would do like the commercials and shit, you know. And yeah, the place is called Active Sounds back in North Carolina, and you know, I would always, you know, do their videos and stuff, and I would get paid, not the same way here now, but it lasted me quite some time.
How old were you then?
I was 22 to 23, yeah.
23, that's nice.
Pretty much last year, you know. Last year was a whole ride for me though, too, you know.
Yeah, you're telling me.
After
You're telling me.
After I told you, like, everything that I've told you with my life, like, what did you think? Because for me, I thought that you would, like, step away and just be like, yeah, nah, I don't want to fuck with this kid.
I don't judge people like that, bro. Like, I think people think because of, like, the content I do and how I guess, seemingly portray myself on the internet, that I'm like this guy that's so superly sophisticated and
You look egotistically, yeah.
egotistical, douchebag, and all that stuff. But in reality, I'm a pretty down-to-earth human being, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty fair. I'm a pretty fair guy,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like that because I know what it's like when somebody judges you without knowing you, especially when it comes from people that are not yourself. When people say something about you, whether it's true or not, and then those people that they told it to take that word for, you know, literal terms, and whatever it is, whatever they're saying about you, you know, they take it literally like that is the say truth, you know, like the truth.
Yeah.
Without getting your side or like getting to know you at all.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling, and I think that sucks, and it's not fair. So I'm a fair person, bro. You know?
So how did you feel when I first told you all that?
What exactly like that?
Like everything about my whole life, like the disaster of all, you know.
That you know, you had a hard life. You came from a hard life.
I don't care. You can say it. I don't care.
Say exactly.
Everything I told you, you can say it. I don't mind.
Well, you gotta say it, man. You gotta.
I mean, yeah, I went to jail. I've had cancer. I was homeless for 11 months. I was engaged. I was in a rough spot. I saw my dad pass. My mom, she was dying in front of me. But at the end of the day, I feel like, I don't know if you've been through this before, but when you were in school, like let's say like in elementary, and the teacher gives you a piece of paper of all these questions, and the one question says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" What did you say?
I always said the most astronomical things that weren't the common, you know. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be, you know, like all those things that, like, I mean, I guess a kid would say, but I realized that kids are the ones that really pursue what they want, you know, until they grow up and they get indoctrinated to follow what is societally appropriate for them, or what they are decided, oh, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. You know, you're not going to be able to do this, but you could do that. And so they kind of like get that dream punched out of them little by little until they're old enough to where they're like, I'm just going to get this desk job, or I'm going to do that. I mean, and some people are satisfied with that, you know. Some people grow into like, it's okay, you know.
But why do you think that they're satisfied? I don't understand that. Like,
because they don't know anything else.
Yeah.
When you don't know anything else that's out there, you are comforted enough to like being okay with where you're at. If you don't know what's on the outside from where you're at, what you know is all you know. So like, there's nothing better, there's nothing worse, and there's nothing better, because that's all you know. But once those people, if they ever have the bravery, because that's what it takes at the end of the day, it takes bravery to ignore the friends, the family members, the girlfriend, the peers, the colleagues, whatever like that, are telling you, you know, like, I know that you want to do this, but you know, it's not, you should do this. This is gonna take you in the right route in life. But then what I learn is like, why would I take advice from somebody that's in a position I would never want to be in?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think you just have to be brave.
Yeah, I think, you know, I never really, well, explaining to you about my whole story, I never really like been brave enough to even, you know, tell that to the whole people, like to whoever's watching, you know.
Yeah.
Because of like, this world is full of judgmental people, and
You're scared to be judged for who you are.
yeah, because I would always lie out of embarrassment, you know. I remember the time where like, when I was like homeless, like I would tell my friends I would go to work, I don't have a fucking job. I just go back to the fucking car and just sleep, you know. And that sucks because that used to be my life. But going back to when about the whole school thing, what I wrote down, and I still have it to this day, is I just wanted to change the world. 2 years ago, My mom told me that the only way for me to do that
Are they coming for you? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, go on.
Well, no, but 2 years ago, my mom told me that she was like, for you to change the world, kid, like, you know, you have to understand the pain of it all, go through punishment, consequences. And I feel like I've been through so much to the point where like it's enough, but it's not enough, because I still have to learn more. I'm only, you know, I'm a young guy.
24?
24, yeah. You know, and I don't know. Now that I'm here in Miami speaking to the one and only Crew Aesthetics, you know, and just seeing the amount of change that happened in a year, everybody that devote themselves in the whole year, like anyone can make it. You just have to keep going. There's no like, this is not the end for you, you know? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. Because everybody thinks that like an office job or where they're at is their ending. That's just that they just haven't explored more, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, when I was homeless, I was like, I came here to Miami with no money, no nothing, you know? I had no friends. And then the first two friends was Eric and Marwan. Eric Ronaldo.
Eric Ronaldo, the one and only, the top G.
The top G. And then I met you, and then I met Matthew, I met everybody. I met Brandon, I met everybody, you know? And I appreciate everybody around me hearing that out, because it's like uncomfortable just speak out on my story, you know? But like I'm getting used to it. The person that has like honestly pulled me out of this, like out of the darkness and just tell my story was this guy named Michael Barive. He told me that I should speak about it more on video and to never be judged, you know, like don't be scared to be judged, you know. And when he interviewed me, and I felt like nervous in the inside of my mind, and I was just like, all right, fuck it, I'll just tell you. I don't give a shit. I don't care who judges me.
I think the best thing in life is knowing the positions of people that you're afraid to be judged by. I used to be the haters. I used to be the insecure people. Yeah. When I was a kid, I was a douchebag, bro. I mean, I was a good kid, but like, I was a hater. You know, I would have been, when I was 12, a commenter, oh, this guy looks like this guy looks like that. Because I wasn't content with my life, and I was in a pretty, not the best childhood, you know? So I would project, just like everyone does, their built up frustration and insecurities and anger on the internet to people they don't know about, because they're envious for what they think they even have. Maybe they don't even have it, maybe because everybody got messed up stuff going on in their life, but what they see that person's portraying on the internet, they're envious of it, so they're projecting that insecurity, so they're trying to hit you with anything they can get. That's why when I get hate, I don't care, because I know the positions those people are in, and they're just showing their weak spots to me, not the other way around.
How do you, well, at first when you started getting hate, like how did you, you know, like move through that? Like just pass through it?
Because the only one I really consider, for the most part, listening to in terms of like judgment or like would care about even is like God, to be honest. You know, these random people, you know, user 56789, they can say whatever they want about me, but they don't know me. There's nobody I've ever met on the planet, I can confidently say this, that has known me long enough to give their opinion negatively about me, saying this guy is this, he's not a good person, he's this, he's selfish, or he's that. Like, I'm a pretty solid dude.
Are you trying to influence the world or anyone out there? Like, are you trying to influence anyone to, like, for what? Like, what are you trying to do for your whole content?
It's gonna shift. I'm old enough to realize that over time it's gonna shift, you know? It's never gonna be the same exact thing permanently. It wasn't when I first started, which was 16 years old. I'm 23 now. It's changed completely, you know? But right now, I guess I'm trying to show people to not be afraid to live their full best life and to chase their dreams and to go after what they want.
Is there a quote like that you live by to
A quote?
Yeah, like something that inspires you or motivates you or anything, you know, that, you know, keeps you going. Have you ever saw something on the internet that you like that inspired you to keep going? And
I'm sure I've seen many things, but the fact that I can't remember any of them shows that it's probably not important enough.
yeah.
So no, I mean, to be honest, what the true thing that kept me going is just like I said in the beginning, you know, like where I want to see myself. You know, also like it's a little fun, I guess you could say like egotistical thing to be like, oh, I just want to like prove those haters wrong as well, shut them up. Because I've done that so many times, but like that gets old. You know, you get that moment where it's like, yeah, look at me, I did it. You said I couldn't. You know, that lasts for like 5 minutes and then it's like, okay, well what's next? So like the real true material, like what's important for the most part is just like where I want to see myself, whether it's in a year, 5, 10, you know.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a quote that I actually like. I want you to tell me on your opinion about that. Only through pain you can achieve greatness. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty accurate. I think you can't go through life and becoming a hyperly successful individual as well without any challenges, struggles, or pain unless you were breastfed and you know, I guess spoon-fed and being a trust fund baby all your life. I don't think that there's any other way to like become successful. And that's why a lot of people don't, because they're scared of that like uncomfortability and like that like, oh, like, but I don't know, man, like I gotta spend my money and take the chance in doing this, or I gotta like spend a couple restless nights some of these days to achieve this and to get this done by this time, you know, and like, there's just people not willing to do it because if you had the choice, your dream life, possibly, because these people are not even confident enough within themselves immediately to like believe that they could achieve it.
Yeah.
Maybe they can achieve it in their minds, but it's gonna take years and it's gonna be inevitable struggles. Doesn't know how long it's gonna take for it to work out for them, or the guaranteed job that's gonna guarantee them that paycheck every week or two, you know, guarantee them or that salary or whatever, the hourly pay. As long as they just show up at this time, leave at that time, and then that's it, you know? So it's like they take the safer route because it's like, you know, as humans, a lot of people, most people, they have like that scarcity mindset, and you have to like practice breaking out of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Were you ever scared?
Was I ever scared?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, bro, I think everyone's been scared. I've always been scared, but you know what? I'll tell you this. Let me tell you this real quick. There was a point in my life, just like yours. You know, you've had struggles. Everyone's had struggles. I think that's what a lot of people need to realize. Now I'm old enough to know that, like, there's people that would switch to your life in a heartbeat because there's always somebody that has it worse than you and better. But I grew up very, you know, I had a pretty messed up childhood, you know, like an abusive household. You know, I would see that all the time, and it got to me, you know. I didn't really have friends, you know. I was always looked at as like the loser growing up, and I'm like 10 years old, you know, seeing this stuff, you know. And you know, obviously I had like these like self-harming thoughts. I hated myself, hated who I was, hated what I looked like, hated the life I was living. And I mean, ironically, the first thing that I was like that kept me living and like wanting to keep going was like working out. I started like at 12. I just said, you know what? I feel like I've never, which is pretty harsh to say to yourself at like such a young age, like, dude, you're only 12.
Yeah.
But I literally said to myself, I swear, word by word, I was like, I've never achieved anything like good enough for me to be proud of.
Yeah.
And I always give up on everything that I try. So this is gonna be the first thing that I don't give up on. And I just started knocking out push-ups and sit-ups. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I was really, really sore the next day. And I just kept doing it. I mean, it was shitty form, shitty routines, shitty just planning, but I did it. And I kept going. And I was like, bro, I'm like the only kid in like elementary school and like going up from there that was like built, you know. And this is before TikTok, before, you know, fitness was really popularized. I was like, damn, I did it, you know? But those like thoughts of like not wanting to like live anymore and all that like crazy stuff,
You felt
it gave me confidence, bro. It gave me confidence to do stuff like this because I'm like, dude, if I can't, if I don't even like do the thing I want to do, then there's no point even being here to begin with. So I'm gonna do what I want to do, or I'm not doing anything in life at all, and I'm just not gonna be here at all. And I just had, I mean, that was a wild mindset. It's a really wild mindset. But it was like, it's like, to give like an example, it's like you're on the top of like a tower, and the building is burning on fire, and it's gonna explode pretty soon. You're gonna die. So you have either one option. You guarantee your death by sitting there in the fire and just burning alive, or you jump and try to land on something. And I just jumped, and that's it.
Wow.
I'd rather take the chance of, you know, making it out there than just like sitting there all sad and just like giving out like that. You know, I can't do that.
Yeah.
What about you? Actually, let me ask you this. What do you think the meaning of life is, truthfully? Behind, the content is bullshit. This is bullshit. Us talking, whatever, like...
It's just a talk. Yeah.
What do you think the true meaning of life is? Like the soul meaning of life is? If you had to put it in one sentence, or just like concisely.
I mean, for me, I think the true meaning of life, I never thought about like, everybody thinks differently, you know, money, the girl, all that. Just having peace, pretty much. And, you know, being stable, having the people around you. Just to live another day, you know. And being around God more and all that, you know. I don't really, like, care about the money. But sometimes, when you see something you like a fucking Rolex, I want that shit.
Yeah.
You know? But the meaning of life for me would be just to be at peace and, you know, just be grateful for what you have around you, you know? And that's about it. And it's like, that question is a very hard to answer, you know, because there could be many answers to that, you know?
Yeah.
I think that everybody, the way they think, is very different about, you know, what they think about that question. For me, I just want peace, you know, in my mind, in my soul, you know. And I feel like I've covered that so much with just pretending to be happy, you know. Genuinely, if I'm being honest, I feel like I lost my spark, that it became so numb, that my whole life, whatever happens, I just let things flow. And hopefully I find that happiness that I truly want, if I'm being real.
Happiness in just life, or, you know, relationship, or like...
I guess in life, and pretty much, you know. I just feel like I've had so many setbacks to the point where, like, God is showing me that the only way for me to be the man I need to be, I need to keep going and not stop. Because when the point of it all was just like, I feel like my whole life was just full of setbacks, you know. I didn't think I would meet you. I didn't think I would meet Matt. I didn't think I would meet anybody like you guys. But you guys have given me so much motivation to the point where, you know, I feel unstoppable. I feel relentless, you know. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can do... It's just like I'm playing fucking God mode right now.
Playing God mode.
Not God mode like that, but like I just have unlimited things to just keep going, you know, and nothing can stop me.
Yeah.
You know, like in GTA, like you have so many fucking lives to live, you know. I mean, you gotta choose one and keep going. And for me, I never would have thought sitting here with you would happen. Never thought any of this would happen. I didn't even
I'm just some piece of shit. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you're just a piece of shit, but you're my piece of shit. You're my friend, you know?
That's funny. That was
2 years ago, I didn't think, if you told me this 2 years ago that, Michael, you're gonna be talking to content creators and working with them, being with the top artists and athletes and whatever, it doesn't matter, whoever in the future, all this stuff, I never would have believed you. I'd probably just fucking keep being in my room thinking, what the fuck am I gonna do? Am I gonna keep pursuing on soccer? Because that's what I've been wanting to do before this. I wanted to become a pro soccer player. That's what I wanted to do. But then my mom told me, look at the realistic things, and you know, unfortunately, it couldn't happen. But now I know what my calling is, and I really want to get into like public speaking for men. So this is why we're here now, because wow, I want to encourage men, the people that have lost themselves in the sauce, yeah, that have lost themselves in so much, into depression, breakups.
I think everyone loses themselves though. At some point in time, they all. I've
But
lost myself many times.
Well, I mean, you have. Let's be honest. You have a lot to lose. A lot of people don't. You know.
No, but like I'm saying, like in terms of losing yourself, like just like your identity, you don't really know what's like going on. You don't know what to do. You know, you're like, you hit a very thick wall.
You ever hit rock bottom before?
Yeah.
Like genuinely, like seriously.
From my perspective, it felt like, you know, I felt like, damn, bro. Like, I mean, did I show you that picture where I had that huge ass beard?
You look fucking homeless, dog.
Yeah,
it was
sick.
the first
Spring
day
break got me good, you know.
You look like you were 37, yeah. And that's
Yeah, I thought I was pretty depressed there. I didn't shave for like over a month.
Was that because of your ex?
I mean, that was partially, but yeah, it was that was a big part. But because it gave me a lot of time to think about it, and I'd say it's fair to say that I'm pretty decent at like self-analyzing myself. And I guess I realized with like that last relationship, for example, because I was done very, very poorly. That was very messed up. That was so bad. Worse than cheating. Wouldn't wish it on an enemy. But all my life, I always tried to chase and fulfill like love from girls, you know?
So you just pretty much just want love.
Like I was chasing that, and like, for the most part, I would never get the same level of love or passion from the opposite person than I did to them. Like I would never get that reciprocated to the same level. And I think it was because, like, growing up, you know, I don't know, I felt like I was, like, neglected to a degree.
Yeah.
So I always try to seek that in, like, you know, other people, like girls and stuff. And then I realized that it's kind of the same concept with girls with, like, daddy issues and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta figure yourself out before you try to seek others. So I gave myself time to really think about it. I'm like, okay, bro, like, you need to stop putting... This is what I learned in terms of like relationships, for example. And I spoke about this on my YouTube channel after like I was very heartbroken at that time.
You posted that?
I said this, I was like, I think that it's important for you to know yourself and know who you are as an individual before trying to seek yourself through other people. You know, like you really need to find out who you are before you give your all. I used to give my all to somebody that I just met, like just give it all. Like it's like I'm giving my heart. Here, I don't know you. I don't know who you are or who you've been, but whatever you decide to do with this, it's yours to have. And they would just they would murk that shit. Good as fuck. They would grab a knife, shoot it. Like they would do everything. So that wasn't the best.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I was gonna ask you. So a lot of people around here, they say that a woman can really like push you to where you want to be. You think that's true? Or do you think that you need to push yourself and find that woman later on? Well,
it's funny because I think there's two different types of women for a man. I think one, they can make you half of the man that you could become, and then the other one, they can make you twice of the man that you already are. So I think that you need to find the second option, preferably.
Yeah.
But I think it's also environmental where you find these people. I've come to terms of realizing that statistically speaking, but the possibility of finding a really good girl in Miami is not the place.
Yeah.
It's not the place.
I wouldn't even bring anyone to Miami. That just...
Dude,
that'd be worse.
The girl I dated in high school, she didn't even live in the US, man. She was born in Venezuela. She came here. She was only here when I met her like a couple months in, so she wasn't indoctrinated by the whole American, Western.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so She was actually a really solid girl, and then she got that Miami effect, and then she started doing modeling and like music videos with, you know, like
You were okay with that?
famous artists. No, like I wasn't, to be honest with you. But I really did have good feelings for her, and I truly loved her. So I tried to just fucking shove it down as much as I can. But there was just not a good enough level of respect.
Yeah.
To where, like, it's like I didn't sign up for that, you know? I dated her, and then the first year it was like normal, and then she got into that, and then I'm like, fuck, like, you know, she's like pretending to be like the girlfriend of like Akon and all this bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, or like, you know, dancing and music videos with like Drake or Bad Bunny, and it makes you feel like shit. It's like, even though it's not what it probably is or what you think it is, it's like, it's fucked up, you know? It makes you like feel bad. And then there's gonna be people like, oh, you're insecure, you're jealous. That's like that Gen Z bullshit that they always say. And you know what? I actually want to mention something.
Okay.
When they say, especially a lot of girls, you're insecure. You know what? Maybe in situations like that, for example, maybe I was insecure, but that's not a bad thing on my end. Being insecure about the relationship, I want to have a sense of security.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people mistake themselves with insecurity to being protective.
Exactly.
You know?
You know? Like, I'm not over here saying, all right, you got to wear a fucking chastity belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, just be respectful, you know?
Yeah.
What you do,
sure.
I do, unless it's crazy.
Yeah.
What you don't do, I will never do as well. You know, I'm a fair person, you know? So
What do you think love is to you?
I think love is being willing to sacrifice things that you also love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think that for you to be able to put things down to build what you have with that person up or to keep it alive, I think that's love. And I think being the person that you want to be for that person every day, and what you know they would want you to be, you know, I think that's love, because not a lot of people are willing to do that, to be their best self. I think a lot of people, they start getting comfortable and satisfied, and all right, I'm with them. They start fucking getting fat as shit, sloppy. They don't, I don't know, the girl or whatever that doesn't cook for their husband, or the guy doesn't even take the girl out on dates anymore. You just start getting lazy, you get complacent, you know? I think true love is where you sit there and say, I'm gonna keep that spark alive. It could be 10 years, 20 years, I'm gonna keep that spark alive. I'm gonna keep trying to sway you off your feet, make you blush every now and then. Also, do the helicopter. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, what?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's what. I mean, what do you think love is?
I had like a taste of it, yeah. Like it felt real, like the real, genuine one. Well, it's like I felt like it felt good because, well, there was no girl that I've ever met that has done the same way that, you know, my ex has done. She spent fucking 10K on me for like the whole fucking thing just to help me out and be back on my feet. I mean, not a lot of girls can do that, you know?
What thing?
Huh?
What thing?
Or like, you know, just spent a lot of money and to help you out and get back on your shit, you know? Just support you and like encourage you to do the best. And, you know, I remember like when I was homeless, she literally would pick me up from the car, drop me back off every time we hang out, you know? Then later on, she rented me out an apartment. And I was like, wow, you know, that's insane. She was like, yeah, I care about you. Like, I really want you to like feel like, you know, you feel human, all this stuff. And then later on, you know, she would always cook for me, buy me food, you know, so I won't starve and die, you know. She would always like, you know, just make me feel like I have a home, you know.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing for me to actually be able to love somebody. Like that just matters to me. Like I felt so good just being able to have that feeling, you know. And sometimes now, like I think about it, like I miss that, you know.
Oh yeah, I know.
It sucks.
I know how that feels. I know how that feels. Sometimes I sit in my room. It's always when you're in your room by yourself alone, looking at the ceiling. Oh man, you know, that was a good feeling. It feels good.
But yeah, she had so much. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have done any of this if it wasn't probably for her. And it's not because I miss her or nothing. I just appreciate her as a person. it's not because I still love her or nothing. It's just I value her very much. Because when she first bought me that camera, I mean, bro, I started fucking doing the best I can, learning, editing, doing everything I could to just be the best I could be. You know, when she first bought me the camera, she looked at me, I was like tearing up, and she told me, like, you know, she grabbed my chin, she was like, hey, look, I believe in you. I believe you can be the best you can be. And here we are now, 2 years later, being here, talking to you in front of all these cameras, you know, and I'm just doing it, you know. And I guess it was because I took a risk to move here to Miami with no money at all. And I did what I did.
Yeah.
And I feel grateful for it all. I feel like the fucking, I feel like the happiest guy when it comes to just making it, you know. But in reality, I still think like, even if I have everything, like money and a good mental health and everything, I just feel like the one thing that's missing out of my whole life is love. And, you know, my mom would tell me, like, where's that that child, that kid, that, you know, that little boy that I miss? Where is he? Sometimes it's hard, you know, because I wish I can give my mom the world, but right now is, you know, God's being patient with me, and, you know, I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be a moment in time where I'm gonna do everything I can to retire my mom, and maybe hopefully meet my wife, who knows, you know. Sometimes things happen for a reason. When it comes to the breakup, you know, when you want to be successful, when you have somebody in your life, sometimes you have to take the risk and sacrifice to drop that person to get your life, you know, to work for it. In the process of it, you lose the queen, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that always, like, kept me, I guess, not on edge is knowing that everything happens for a reason, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
So when something really fucked up happens, I'm like, you know, this happens, but from experience, that means that there's something greater gonna occur in the next couple of weeks or whatever months, maybe.
I think as a man, like, when you lose everything, you should just fucking be calm and figure it out, you know? That's what I think. Like, what do you think a real man should do, you know, in those situations? What do you think a man is, actually?
What a man is, or what they should be, or
what a real man is? Do you think you're a real man?
That sounded so funny. I can just imagine, like, hey, come, you think you're a real man doing what you do? You're a piece of shit.
No, well, just tell me first. What do you think a real man is? Before I get on to the next question.
I think a real man is somebody who just needs to do what they know they need to do. That's it, you know? I think a real man has bravery. You know, bravery is not just oh, I have balls, you know, I'm gonna fucking do this or I'm gonna do that. Like, you're scared to do it, but you're gonna do it regardless.
Yeah.
Because you know that, like, that thing is gonna help you out, or it's gonna help this person out even, maybe. Maybe it has nothing to relate it to yourself, but, like, you're gonna do it just for that person, whether it's a loved one or you don't even know them, maybe. Mm-hmm. But you're gonna do it because you're a brave person and you know that that's the right thing to do. I think a real man is somebody who does the right thing, you know? Not the wrong thing, the right thing. And if they do the wrong thing, which we all do at some time, we learn from that mistake and we unfuck up that mistake and we do the right thing again. You know?
You ever had like a man up moment?
A man up moment?
Yeah.
Probably when I stopped doing pickup videos. No, I don't know. A man up moment, dude?
Yeah.
A man up moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe in terms of relationship, not like taking shit that I don't deserve. I guess.
Like when did you ever feel pressure, you know, to man up?
Pressure to man up.
Yeah, and like what? Like what did you do in that moment?
Feel pressure to man up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, dude, I'm only 23. Fuck.
Yeah, well.
I'm not even like. I don't know. Like maybe I'm not.
Is there like any moment that has taught you in that?
To man up, I guess just like knowing that I'm at that age where I need to think about my future, my life, presently and in the future. And I need to lock in, bro. I don't know. I just need to fucking lock in, dude. I know that sounds like a TikTok video right there,
No,
but like,
no, of course. You have to lock in. There's no
but
way.
I'm not saying like I'm gonna lock in for a week. Like I need to lock.
No,
the
lock
fuck in.
in, like,
I
for
need
a
to lock
whole-
in, bro.
Like, maintain that shit, dog.
Maintain it and grow. You know, I need to lock
The
in.
whole point of locking in is to lock in. Like, you know, do you not get the phrase?
Yeah, but there's some people that say I'm gonna lock in and then tomorrow they're they're back on their bullshit. I'm not drinking this weekend. Then they're 5 beers down, 2 Bland Bs, and a couple condoms. I don't know why the condoms are there, but maybe they just had it for the nice gentleman gesture and then just say, you know, let's just go raw. I don't know. I mean, that's, I guess, what I'm saying, like, where people say they're locking in and they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the whole point of, like, I don't know, like, so many, like, years have passed by that we just come up with fucking phrases like lock in, focus up.
It's fucking cringe.
You know? But I like that, you know, locking in. I feel like, I mean, a lot of people, I hate how, like, people are so encouraged to, like, just be themselves, like, fat, fucking eating so much, you know, and...
Yeah, because they don't have anyone telling them otherwise.
Exactly, and they think that it's so normal, but, like, they need to stop normalizing. They need to stop encouraging that
especially
shit.
the internet. You're a fucking asshole. Why would you tell them that?
Yeah.
Just being honest.
How do you define strength today?
Strength?
Yeah.
How do I define strength?
Yeah. Like, and, like, how has the definition changed over you?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I think that strength is, like I said,
Like, over
a couple
time.
times in different ways in this video, you as well, you go through certain situations and you learn to endure them and become better from them.
Yeah.
And I think strength now, they define it as being emotionally strong. You're so proud for being a pussy and crying about your feelings. Give yourself a rest. You don't need to keep pursuing what you're doing. Just lay off for a while.
Yeah.
Focus on your bullshitting and your crying. Cry a little bit more, because that's gonna help you out. That's what I define as the strength now versus the strength then. So people are prioritizing, and I'm not saying that emotions are not important. Like, cry when you need to cry, get mad when you need to get mad, you know. Obviously, there's certain levels to this. Don't go shoot up a fucking school. But, like, do what your emotions are feeling you, like, what they want you to do. But, like, don't lay on it and let yourself just set back by many steps because of it, you know. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta fucking do.
Who has taught you what a real man is? And, like, do you still agree with that person now?
Bro, I don't know. I mean, many people tell me, you know, whether it's family, friends, fucking the girlfriends, you know, will tell you, hey, you're not being a man. You got to do this. You got to, like, everyone has their own perspective and thought on, like, what they think a man is or what anything they think is.
Yeah.
I think that's just for you to figure out yourself. And then when you think you found what it is, you come to the moral conclusion of, like, is that it? Is it? Is it? If it is, then I'm going to stick it. If it's not, then I'm going to, like, not be a pussy and be complacent and just stay the way I am and figure it out still. I'm going to go back to the drawing board.
You ever had, like, I don't know, you ever had pain in your life?
Yeah, bro.
But, like, how has that even, like, how did pain even shape you? Do you know?
It shaped me to tolerate less bullshit. You know, I think it shaped me to realize that there's some things worth arguing about and some not. Some worth stressing about and some not. Some situations that I would have back then probably fucking went crazy about, and now I probably would just shrug it off my shoulder and be like, yeah, what? Life will fucking figure that shit out. You know, I let life take its course in a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think God and the way He's made this planet and the way the universe is working and the whole function of it is very specific and not by coincidence. So I think that it will order itself out when the time is.
There's a phrase that's, and I want you to, you know, tell me your opinion on this as well. The broken are the more evolved. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, especially as a guy, you know, you're gonna probably in most cases go through a lot of fucking shit. And it'll either make you or break you. There's some people that it breaks. There's some people that just say give up and it's too much for them to handle and they end their lives or they end in a very bad fucking route. They start doing drugs, dealing drugs, fucking getting in gangs, killing people, committing this crime, that crime. And then there's some people who just, without going to that deep of the route, you know, they just try to figure it out. And I think depending on where you go, that all depends on your belief in God. Because if you believe in Him truthfully, you'll know that He has a plan for you and that wherever you end up, He wanted you to go there, whether it's a bad situation or good. Because He knows that in the end, you're going to be better left off than where you were. You know, you're going to be better situated. You're going to be better mentally, maybe even physically, spiritually. And you're going to, it's almost like, I look at life like a video game, dude. I used to be a fucking video game fanatic when I was a kid because that was my escape route. I used to play every fucking, dude, literally Monday through Sunday, 7-8 hours a day. Like, I was a fucking fanatic.
What game would you play?
I was also extremely fucked up. I would say some very nasty things on the internet, you know?
Jesus Christ.
Whether it's like, I'm not that kind of person, but everyone was. Black Ops 2, game chat lobbies. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not gonna label myself anything because I already know what's gonna happen, but I was that guy.
Yeah.
But I was also good. So that made it worse for the people listening. But I know in life, and like when it comes to video games, most video games, you gotta level up. And once you level up, your character, you know, once he's a higher level, he probably has more health, more strength. You know, you could get this attachment on this gun, make this gun better in this angle, and like, you know, maybe more fucking stabilized grip, or I don't know, fucking, you keep leveling up. So I look at life like a video game because you're essentially, as you get older, if you're doing the things you should be doing, you're leveling up, you know, you're leveling up. And yeah, you know, unlike video games, you know, you probably die and come back. You could just fucking start the game over. But you can't do that with this life. And I'm gonna be honest, bro, like I've kind of contemplated, like I've really not like super scaredly thought about this, but like for like the last year or two, I don't know, bro, I've been scared of like dying, dude. I don't know why. I'm scared of dying. Like I have that like fear.
Just because of like how big you are on the internet or what?
No, I'm just scared. Like, I don't know. It's like a sense of like, I don't know. It's just some bullshit, you know? Like, I'm getting older, you know? Like, I'm like hyperfixating
Death is
age.
getting closer?
I guess it doesn't help when people on the internet say I'm fucking 40 when I'm 23, you know? You're 40 years old, 2 kids, get a fucking job, asshole. Like, that, you know? You hear that all the time. It's like holy shit. But nah, man, I mean, it's just little bullshit. That's not really anything crazy to worry about, but I don't know, man. I mean, what do you think that you're looking for in a girl specifically?
Damn, wow, you jump into that.
I wanna know because I have to say something. But what do you think are the main traits in a girl that you're looking for?
This is not to glaze on my ex again, but
Don't say good puss.
No.
Be honest.
Relax. No, but I think that everybody should have, she's a good example, and I think that every girl should have loyalty, faith in God, supportive, emotional supportive, you know, just being true and just being respectful as it is, you know. You don't have to be like, everybody says this, but like, I mean, personality over looks or over looks personality. Yeah, it's kind of important for the looks a little, you know. But personality is the best thing because, you know, I think that personality is the best thing to live with, you know. I don't really give a shit if, you know what I mean, you're like the most hottest girl. The hottest girl can be the most, like, meanest bitch.
Yeah, be hollow in the head too.
You know? Like and I'm not saying every girl in Miami, but I have met those girls.
No, they're every girl in Miami. It's every girl in Miami.
Okay. Well, that's his opinion, not mine. You know, but I surely have met wonderful women, and you know, I've been on dates and all this stuff, but I just couldn't click with that, you know? So weird. It's like you can't click with any of these girls because it's not like it was before, you know? You can't.
It's just Miami, dude.
What I had back then was traditional love, and you guys don't have that here.
No, you don't.
You know, it's more like interest. It's more like fucking.
I grew up in Connecticut. Trust me, I know how this fucking difference is. Miami to Connecticut. Like,
you know, you have to have like the fucking like. There's always gonna be better than you. There's always gonna be someone better than you here in Miami. You can have the nicest car, the nicest house, and everything, but someone can steal your girl right now because they have something way better than you. Better car, better.
You're just buying time with them.
You know,
until somebody better comes along.
I'd rather just get out of Miami. I'd rather be here in Miami to build my business, build the life that I want. Then I can move and find someone somewhere else. And if I'm lucky to find someone here, then yeah.
I think.
Would you ever go back to your ex?
No. Wait, what? To my ex?
Yes.
Fuck no. Fuck no, dude.
No, but I'm saying is that like
Absolutely
I'm asking
not.
like, because everybody has different opinions. I'm just saying. Would you ever go back if it were up to her to tell you, hey, look, I'm really sorry for everything that's happened to me. I mean, to you and to us or whatever, but I just wish to, you know, rekindle and try again. And she really means that too, like, you know.
She can mean that, but you know what?
Fuck that.
No. Truthfully, I would appreciate the apology and whatever they gotta say, but even if they genuinely meant it, unfortunately, I would look at it like I was just your mistake from you to learn from so you could be better to the next person that you hopefully end up being with for the rest of your life, because I'm done. Like, with me, it's not happening anymore. I think if it was somebody like, if you asked me in high school, I probably wouldn't have enough respect for myself to say that because...
Yeah, you always have to have self-respect. Don't ever...
No, because, dude, it ended for a reason, bro.
Yeah, I know, but like
unless it was you who did the ending and you fucked up and you're trying to, you know, like maybe see what they do, you know, see what they say.
It was my fault, you know, and it's not because, well, I didn't like at the beginning, like of the relationship, I was at my lowest point and I decided to jump into a relationship, right?
Yeah.
I decided to jump into a relationship because I feel like that's what I needed.
Trying to fill a void.
Exactly. But the thing is, from the beginning of the relationship, and this was right after I went to jail and that girl ruined my life and everything. Right after that, I gave up on love. And after that, I met that girl, right? The one that I would call my fiance in that relationship. And she wouldn't understand because she's not a man. She's not going to understand any of that. But for me, like I've been through shit, bro. Like if I'm going through something, like I'm obviously not gonna be myself. I'm not gonna be myself. From the beginning of the relationship, I did not feel worthy of her love at all because of how broken I felt. And then, you know, I would admit I would talk to girls, like, you know, on my phone and all this stuff, but I wouldn't like physically do anything. It's still a bad thing. And I felt wrong for that, you know? But then like she still gave me a chance to better myself and everything. But as soon as I became the man that she wanted me to be, she left because it was too late. It was the last straw and everything. When a woman or a man prays for something, you're not gonna get the exact thing. You're gonna get the opposite, you know? And I mean that's just how I think, you know? She prayed for a man that had essentials, these essentials that she asked for, everything. Look, if anybody is hearing this, I need you to know that whatever you pray for is not going to come. What?
I'm just making sure your lights, your mic was on, so you're not saying all this shit and you just hear.
So anyways, whatever you pray for, you are not going to have the exact thing. Sometimes when you ask for strength, you're gonna get obstacles. But especially when you ask for someone that you really want in life, something that with the essentials that you want in that person, you're gonna have a guy like me that was broken and that wanted to become better. But you just have to be patient. It comes with patience. And yes, it's hard to deal with, and I understand that, but that just depends on you. Whether or not you deal with that, whether or not you think it's worth it, all this stuff, and you stay, then you'll see the results. That's how I think, you know? And she didn't give me that. She wasn't being patient enough. We were like almost, before we broke up, a month before, we were about to move in together. And as soon as, I was so happy for that to happen. But the last straw was just because, you know, well, it was my first ever client woman, and, you know, things happen and whatever. I just got scared if it was a fight or flight instinct, and I just decided to, like, delete the messages and tell her, like, I didn't see anything. But still, though.
And like I was saying, it could have been for you a lesson for you to learn for possibly the next person, bro.
But the thing is, I did become a better person, and I still am a better person. I'm a mature person, and probably, and it was the last day that we broke up is when we like cried on our shoulders, and she said, well, we both said it, and we both agreed that it's probably the wrong place, wrong time, and probably the wrong person. I mean, the right person, wrong time.
It could be.
You know? And sometimes I don't believe in that, but it was a feeling. It was like, if it was true, you know? Because, bro, like, I didn't just get engaged for no reason. I had no money for this proposal, so I just gave her straight off the bat, like, hey, will you marry me? On my knee in the apartment. Check out my video game headset. That was terrible. It was terrible, but lucky enough that where I am now, to whoever is the next girl, that special woman, I promise it'll be better. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. Like, I don't know. I mean, it could be wrong time, but right person. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You never know. But I don't know. From experience, I've never broken up with somebody.
Me either.
I've always been the one broken up with.
Sure.
Every single girl that I've been with has came back, except the last one. That girl, fucking. I don't want to be an asshole, but that girl was a fucking psycho, dude. Like, holy shit.
She haunts her dreams, huh?
Nah, man. You know, it was just it is what it is. It was a learning lesson, you know. But I guess what I was gonna say is every relationship I ended up being in after the last one, I ended up feeling and almost being better than the last one in some sense. Like, it always felt better and better and better.
Yeah.
And I think I always fixated after, not the last one, but the girl before I was with, of the kind of girl I want to be with. And I'm like, okay, if I find this girl, I know that this will be the girl that I will fucking marry and be with.
Actually, now that you're saying that, what do you even look for in a woman? Like, well, I want to know this now. Like, you asked me that, what do you look for?
Well, what I looked for before.
But what are you looking for now?
Well, let me tell you this. What I did look for before was just, it was so specific, you know, someone who's like religious and family oriented and a virgin and fucking not attention seeking, you know, would wear very respectful, classy clothing and nothing provocative.
Not that fucking crop top shit with that booty out.
I was very like to the T, bro. Like, I was like, bro, I might as well go to fucking Amish town, bro, and go get me a girl. I was so specific, dog. And I found that, dude. I literally, I swear to God, I found that.
And what happened?
No, that was the last girl.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And you know what's crazy? I want people in the cameras to look, like, really, like, listen right now, because the reason why I say this a lot in my videos, to like believe in God, and if you really want to like ask for something that you genuinely feel like you need in life, whether it's now or in the future, ask for it, you know. And
do you believe that?
Huh?
Do you believe in that?
Of course, bro.
Like, I'm saying, like, do you believe that what you pray
do I believe in that? Yeah.
Like, what you pray for, it'll come the same, or?
I do.
Really?
I swear to God, bro, everything I've genuinely asked for, I've gotten within a couple months of time frame. You know, I've put this to the test, bro. I fucking, when I first started making content in Miami, I'm like, God, please, just, if you can help find me people who are in the same bubble and boat as me who do this. This is before content was like really popularized like it is now, but
Yeah.
this was before that. And because I had nobody to film with, I had nobody to relate to. I'm the only one doing this shit. I'm a lone wolf. I was a teenager. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, this is not easy, dude. You know? I don't have anyone to even talk about thumbnails or like, hey, you want to film tonight?
Yeah.
Then I met Eric, and then I met this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. And I met so many people. Like, it was just like in a month's time frame.
Yeah.
And then in 1 month, I met a bunch of people in 1 month. You know, I remember when the Tate brothers first started popping out, I was like, I'm gonna meet them, I'm gonna meet them, I'm gonna meet them. Like, I started fucking manifesting that shit. And then Tristan Tate fucking followed me and then started talking to me on the DMs. Like, bro, this shit is like, it happens, bro.
Yeah.
And then like the girl situation, I fixated on like these qualities that I thought, and of course they are important to some degree, but I like put them like, that's it. Like, that's it, man. And I found it. I made it. That girl, I made those qualities her personality without really looking for who she actually is. And she was, I mean, it would be too long to explain the situation, but the way it ended, now that I'm older and time has passed, she just came off as someone who's extremely naive and immature. And yeah, I realized, you know, obviously I don't want a girl with fucking 500, I don't want no Bonnie Blue, bro. You know, I know people are like, you're a sick pig, you curled her.
Yeah.
You know, you probably did, you know what else with her, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want somebody who's like, has like a lot of bodies or like crazy shit like that. But like, I just, truthfully, the most important thing that I want in somebody is somebody who is just chill, bro. Like, just fucking like, you're cool. You respect your partner's, your boundaries, and you genuinely love that person. And like we said earlier, like, you just want to do better for that person every day, you know? So, how long are we going for? How long is it?
How long is this? Yeah.
Hour and 6 minutes in.
Hour and 6 minutes, so.
Not bad.
I don't know how long you want to go for. You want to keep going? You want to talk about other
Let's
topics?
keep going, like maybe a few more minutes. Maybe
Yeah, man,
like,
I'm chill, man.
Only 25 minutes left on this SD, just so you know.
All right.
let's go for
This is kind of like your first podcast.
10 minutes.
10, yeah.
People might tune out.
10, 15 minutes is
10, 15 minutes is fine. All right.
All right, so what haven't we talked about, Saint, that the people would want to know?
I think what we haven't spoke about was our friends.
Our friends.
Yeah. How did you meet Eric Ronaldo?
That's such a funny. You know, I think it was the first content creator that he met here.
Yeah.
He was in Virginia. I knew him when he had less subscribers than me, actually. He had 2,000 subscribers, I had 4,000. This was before me and him both blew up. Yeah, this was like before.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, I was like 19 too.
He was 24?
Yeah, and I was,
Yeah.
I remember he hit me up, yo, I'm coming to Miami. You know, we already were friends on the DMs and whatever for a few weeks. I'm coming to Miami, let's go film. And so he's all right. I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, we went to a college campus, and I think we went to FIU. That was the first video we did.
Yeah.
He picked me up. I didn't have a car at the time. And we started talking, and I was immature as fuck, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, to be honest with you, he probably was sitting in the car like, I'm never hanging out with this piece of shit ever again. Like, dude, I was like,
your dusty ass car?
I was very immature, bro. Like, you could probably ask him, has Kevin matured since you first met him? He'd probably be like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I was 19, dude, but I mean, it was cool. You know, we filmed our bullshit. You know, we did the fucking little, first time me doing pickup videos, I wasn't even nervous. That was the crazy part. But I wasn't initially trying to pick up the girls. Like, I was just saying stupid shit because I thought it was funny. Like, I'll go up to a girl, you're fucking bad. Like, can I get your number? Like, I didn't give a shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and I also, like, saw him laughing while recording it, you know? So it would make me want to do that more.
I feel like you're like an old sensei. You know why? Because like I started content when I was 24, and he started blowing up at 24.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're like the old, you're like the rat from the fucking.
What the fuck is it?
Master Splinter.
Master Splinter.
You're Master Splinter.
I'm the youngest one though, bro. I'm
Yeah.
the youngest creator out of like our whole like group that, you know.
And tell me about that fella, Polo Kid.
That's crazy.
Tell me about that guy.
Polo Kid.
Polo Kid.
He's just
yes.
an erratic human being, man. He's probably not gonna watch this. Maybe he
Probably
is.
Probably he is because of Eric. Eric is probably gonna. I'm probably gonna clip this just so that he can see that.
Yeah, and then tag him.
Tag him. Yeah.
Polo Kid, you got me sick. I'm still coughing till this day, and I have a flight in 2 weeks.
Oh, Colombia, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
that song, Un Noche?
Una noche.
Yeah. I'm gonna play that song. I'm walking in the airport like, you ever see Hangover?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do
Which
a
one
scene.
though? Which one?
The scene where they were in the airport.
The first one?
I don't know. It was when they were in the airport and they were in slow motion walking.
And they were walking, all four of them?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that scene, but with that song, and I'm gonna post it on Instagram, POV when you go to Colombia. Like, dude, it's gonna be hilarious. But, nah, man, I mean, I don't know, dude. We talked about girls, we talked about life, hardships, motivation, what you should, like, focus on, what you should not, and I just think that people should just know that what you wanna do, you gotta fucking do. Unless it's crack cocaine, like, bro, you gotta, you gotta do that shit, bro. You gotta, like...
Yeah, just fucking do it, bro. Stop thinking that everything will just come to you.
And you
Just explore.
I think
Stop
what a lot
doing
of
that
people
shit.
are worried about, though, is they're worried about what people have to think or say about it, what
Yeah.
they're doing. And it's like, dude, we're all gonna fucking die, man. Like,
Yeah. You have, like, you could die in a week or two and you still haven't done shit. You still haven't done shit.
You know what's-
You're still sitting down doing nothing.
you know what? Speaking of this, dude, when I first started my YouTube channel, it was because of an ex, ironically. I was 16 years old. She wanted to make content.
Oh yeah, you told me.
So we started making our little bullshit videos, couples videos.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do. I was like a very anti-social media at the time.
Just tell.
And she got me into it, and then
Yeah,
I eventually wanted to just kept going, and she didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, oh, how fucking ironic. So I kept going, but she kept talking shit, telling me I need to find a real job, laughing at me that I wanted to do this. My family, you know, we're not. You already know. They were like, go to college. You know.
Yeah.
My friends, my closest friends, literally would tell me, like, dude, this is not gonna work, man. Like, straight to my face. I'm like, wow, bro. Like, these motherfuckers don't believe in me. And then when I started, like, really going somewhat of places, I don't want to make myself sound like I'm some fucking G over here, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when it started working, everyone literally fucking switched up. I've always believed in you, bro. I'm very proud of you. You know, the exes, they stalk my Instagram.
I've had that so many times.
They stalk my Instagram. They look at my Instagram. People tell me that they were talking about me. Oh, Kevin's doing this. Oh, why is he doing like? And fucking old people from my old town in Connecticut fucking message me on Instagram. Holy shit, Kevin, you came a long way, man. You never changed your personality. You're a clown now, and you were a clown then.
Yeah.
You know, and like, it just shows you like these people don't really like you. People take people's hate or like bullshit or criticism too seriously, and they let it affect. Oh fuck, I'm not gonna do it then.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You gotta do it. Just do it.
My favorite thing about all that was, and these are just to the people that have hated on me, and especially in North Carolina. Fucking everybody hates me.
Should have killed him.
Stop.
I'm kidding. Yo, Matthew put his head up like, wait, what the fuck did he just say?
No, to the people that hated on me and all this stuff, I was the only one pretty much out of North Carolina, that people that I know, I was the only one that made it, and I know I did. And now they're hating on me and all this stuff, and then it's like they're jealous of. And I like this quote. They're jealous of what I have, but they're not jealous on how I got it, you know? And I love that shit.
Yeah.
And like recently I got like 3 messages from these people, right? Telling me, yo, I'm like, congrats on your journey, bro. Like, you know, I've always been proud of you and I knew you could do it. Bro, we
I know.
barely spoke for like a month.
They say that shit like you don't remember what the fuck they said before.
Didn't we have beef back then? Like
For real, bro.
Like I always had
your back, man. You know that. My fucking
But 2 years ago they wanted to fight me.
My ride or die, brother. I'm like, dude.
Bro, yeah. I mean, when you're in your lowest point, people are gonna like shit on you. they're gonna shit on you. But once you make it and you know that you made it, people are gonna be like, oh, I knew that guy. Oh yeah, that was me and him go way back. Oh, that used to be my ex.
Yeah.
Oh, like it's stupid, bro. Like people switch up because when they see us succeed and everything, they're like NPCs, bro. They switch up like shit, like that.
Yeah.
You know, first you punch them in the face in GTA, and then all of a sudden they're like still walking. You know.
Yeah. I just say don't worry about what people have to say. Half the time, more than half the time, 95, 99% of the time, they don't know what the fuck they're even talking about. They don't even know where they're going in life. They're just trying to like point fingers. Oh, but he's not doing this. Like, he should be doing that. But they don't even know the direction they're going. You gotta just know the direction you're going, and if you don't, just start throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks, and keep going with that, you know?
All I gotta say, what are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, bro, all I'm gonna say, bro, is all I wanna do is fucking just make it out here. I'm trying to make it, grow my platforms, make the money, be happy, you know, change lives, motivate people, inspire people to be more confident and to live their true life. Fucking, I mean, bro, my birthday is the same day as Cristiano Ronaldo's, dude. I gotta fucking celebrate the birthday.
Did you know
with
that his birthday is the same day as Cristiano Ronaldo's?
February 5th. So I gotta celebrate my birthday one of these years with him. Like I gotta do this shit, man. Maybe I'll be in Saudi next year. Who knows? I'm like this with him in a fucking picture. You never know, bro. But I believe those things are gonna happen. I believe I'm gonna fucking interview the Tate brothers and all this shit's gonna like come together.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You gotta keep going.
I believe that in you, and I also believe that I'll be the first one to actually meet them first. Or before you.
Oh well, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh yeah, well, it's not a race. But it's more like it's a blessing. So if we ever get to meet these guys, it'll be cool. One last thing I gotta say to anybody that's watching, you know, since I have my friend Kevin here, this guy has actually motivated me to. Well, he's the first to motivate me into getting into the pickup line thing, but it doesn't matter anymore. I'm just more confident now. What I wanted to say is that stop wasting your life on, you know, hating on people, and stop thinking that you're better than them. Stop thinking. There's this guy that said to me, "Oh, it's like so easy to like, you know, be famous in Miami." Like, I'm not even famous, dude. I don't got that much followers.
You can either respond to them.
And the thing is, the funny thing about that is that two people came. They were like, "Oh my God, you Saint!" Like right in front of their face. I'm like, "Oh yeah." I mean, I guess.
That's funny.
You know, but look, all I gotta say is, stop doing that shit. Seriously, get a fucking.
They're not gonna stop.
Get a fucking. I don't give a shit. I know specifically to the people that hate on me, you need to stop that shit. All right, just because I'm doing way better than you in life is because you decided to stick around.
Damn, he's throwing shots like he's like, fuck you guys.
No, I'm just saying to specific people. I'm not gonna say names, but just
just say the names. Throw them out there. Let's fucking bash them all right now.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
Throw their numbers out there and get their license plate. Put in the videos, bro.
No, but I want you to know this now. Stop doing that. Like even like fuck. Actually, enjoy the fucking show. All right, because I know you decided to stick around and stay there behind the screen and do that shit to me. Just stay there. Stay behind me. All right? You can talk shit behind me all you want, but I promise you, that's the reason why you're doing that shit behind me, because you are behind me, you know? I promise you that. I promise you that. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't give a shit about nothing. All I care about is succeeding with my friends, myself, all these people around me. My family, I'm gonna retire them. I don't give a shit about you. Your comments, your shit, the shit you talk about, I don't give a fuck.
Damn, you sound like Thanos right there. You have all the Infinity Stones too. You're gonna go like this and snap them away.
So I'm just saying, you know, instead of doing this, just do your own thing. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be the best I can be, and I'm gonna be the greatest of all time. One of them, one of the greatest.
And then you call them out, so then there's more people to hate on them. Find their address.
Yeah.
Dox them. Fucking completely vandalize their whole house and car.
Well, it was great talking to you, Kevin Diaz, Crew Aesthetics.
That was pretty good.
You know, I enjoyed this with you, and you know, all I gotta say is, this was created by Matthew Diaz. Stay motivated, stay unfiltered, stay unfiltered. I'll redo that again because I.
Nah, keep it all raw, bro. Raw.
Keep it all raw.
Keep it all. You know, when it's raw, it's better. So just keep it all raw.
Okay. Anyways, like it would be a cut. He'll say it for me. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the people. I'll always be grateful for everything that's happened to me and to the people around me. And thank you for this bastard to be here. So,
All right.
I love you. Love you guys.
We did it.